Yo, what's the deal, fam? It's your man Eeze. Top of the morning out here walking, moving this medicine. Hope you do the same today. Before we go any further, smash that like button. What are we talking about today? Ghostface Killah, Tony Starks, Rap Kingpin. I like it. I like that joint. Produced by Scram Jones. First of all, let's talk the production, man. The layers, the way in which he sequenced, made the track seem full, but not busy. Sampled what? Eric B. and Rakim, My Melody. What else he got in there? Mighty Healthy from Supreme Clientele. Vocal sample from Ice Water off the Only Built for Cuban Link, which celebrated 30 years this week. Listen, man, seems like everything is aligning. The drums are booming. And I know some people probably gonna say, well, you know, drums are the same pattern as My Melody, but he layered them. The sonics are there. I played them in these earbuds here, some headphones, and in the car. It passes the sound test. And Rap Kingpin is just beats and bars, you know? That's it, beats and rhymes. 2 verses, Ghost being Ghost, doesn't necessarily have to have a concept. He's spitting, he rhyming, he's doing what he does. Seems very comfortable. This is Supreme Clientele 2 is going to be his first project since what's the name of that? Set the Tone, 2024. As we all know, Supreme Clientele is a classic, dropped 25 years ago? So to do a sequel album, I believe that he's confident with this current material to even have it stand next to that one. The lead single was Typical Ghost. Rap Kingpin, he talking his talk. I like the record. I like it. And I think this is the perfect example of sonics of what I'm talking about. A lot of us are confusing patterns and elements with sonics. To use DJ Premier as an example, Nas is has some of the most minimal elements ever. If you listen to that original sample, you'll be astonished to how he even came up with that, because the creativity was on steroids that day. Minimal elements, but it had a sonic quality that knocks, that has some heaviness, that's round, that doesn't sound flat. That's what I'm speaking about when I talk about sonics. Some people in the comments are saying, well, the beat is dope. Well, some artists like songs with bare bones and they don't like many different elements in it. It's not about that. Sonics has nothing to do with the elements. You can have a spatial track, that's cool. Because some artists need space to breathe so that their vocals can sit in pocket. But that's not what I was referring to. That's not what I was referring to yesterday. But getting back to Rap Kingpin, I like the record. What you think about it? Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Also, I think it's very important to where we have to get back to actually listening to music. I can tell when someone is listening to a record or when they're commenting because they happen to be a fan of an individual. We can tell. We can tell. So we got to get back to listening to actual projects. And if we're unfamiliar with someone's work, that's perfectly fine. That's why we're here. You can always click out of a social media account or website, go click on the person's discography, listen for a bit, and then come back and add something quality to the conversation. But to always be on the defensive about, yo, you young cats don't know what you're talking about. That's why the game messed up. And fam, some of these young cats you talking to are just as seasoned as you or happen to be in the same age demographic, which is healthy. This whole notion that people are haters because they share their opinions, it's nonsense. This is nothing more than barbershop talk. Especially where I grew up at. Listen, You got cats who was in the shop who wasn't even getting the cut. Come sit down and join the conversation and talk about all things, sports, life, music, education, many different things. We can't get to a point to where we're such big fans of people to where we always feel like they're above reproach. It doesn't work like that. If that's the case, when you watch the NFL season when it comes, or the NBA season when it returns, you shouldn't have an opinion on any player. I don't care if it's a star player or the 12th man on the bench because they're in the league and you're not. You see what I mean? That don't make sense, right? If you're paying for league pass and you're paying for NFL ticket, and if you're paying for tickets to go to these arenas, why can't you have an opinion? That's what fans and supporters do. We can have discourse. We can talk about things because we enjoy. We have a commonality, like-mindedness. But some of us don't know how to engage in that. When people don't think how you think, you get mad. No, it ain't about that. Sometimes people just see it differently. And especially when they come in with evidence. Don't take everything so personal. You don't have to. Now back to this Rap Kingpin. I'm gonna knock that a few more times. You can actually work out to that, got that energy to it. Once again, Ghost seems to be very ecstatic, but that's just he never comes across as someone who isn't happy to be rapping, but I'm not expecting much from Supreme Clientele as far as expectations. I just want beats and rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Beats and rhymes. If I can suggest anything, that'd be maybe between 10 to 15 tracks. Not really looking for a marathon. 30 tracks, which is the equivalent of a double CD, but in streaming. But I think it should be cool. Mass Appeal is doing their thing. I like how I don't know if that was Mass Appeal strategy or just the universe working in this unique way where we got the Emperor's New Clothes, then we get Supreme Clientele 2, first single drop, but then to marry the two, we have Ray and Ghost, Ice Water, sampled on the actual Rap Kingpin, and then Rakim, Eric B and Rakim happen to be sampled as well. So Scram Jones, beat is knocking, Ghost seems to be in pocket. Man, listen, these dudes are putting ageism to sleep. I don't want to hear about no more rappers a young man's game and you can only rap it. Listen, man, all that is over. And guess what? You, me, we get a chance to witness it. Some of us have seen or lived through the golden era, whichever one you decide, the 80s and 90s, whatever. That seems to be a discussion as well. And now you're seeing ageism get thrown off the roof because the OGs are making it happen and still putting in that work. So shout out to, once again, Mass Appeal, Ghostface Killah, Scram Jones, Raekwon being sampled, Eric B and Rakim. Hip hop is in a good space. Let me know what you think about the record. About to finish up this walk and finish up the weekend. God is the greatest, man. Spend some time with your family. Spend some time working on your goals. Health is wealth. Remember, you can do anything in this world with patience and sheer hard work. God is the greatest. Go get your shit.
Hey, yo,